In 610 AD, Prophet Muhammad started his religious mission in Mecca. Mecca was the holy land of pagan worship in the Arab Peninsula because of the famous idol temple of Kaaba. During the first 5 to 6 years, Muhammad could master only about 100 followers. The overwhelming majority of the polytheists found his supposed divine verses uninspiring, even as forgery, and firmly rejected his invitation to Islam. Muhammad reacted with attacking the gods and religious customs of the pagans. This made the people oppose the progress of Islam, mainly through persuasive means. His religious mission in Mecca, thus, effectively came to a standstill after 6 to 7 years. Hopeless at Mecca, Muhammad next thought of trying his luck elsewhere. In 619 AD, he went to the city of Taif and invited its people to Islam and urged them to join in his fight against his Meccan opponents. The people of Taif rejected his proposals and chased him out after 10 days. He returned to Mecca. In 620 AD, Muhammad converted 6 pilgrims from Medina, who had come to the Kaaba to perform the Hajj pilgrimage. This turned out to be a game changer for him as his followers in Medina grew fast over the next 2 years. In 622 AD, 76 Hajj pilgrims from Medina secretly met him at a Kaaba in Mecca. At the meeting, Muhammad expressed his desire to migrate to Medina and said, "I invite your allegiance on the basis that you protect me as you would your women and children." The Medina disciples made a pledge as per Muhammad's wishes, known as the Second Pledge of Aqaba. Al-Abbas bi Ubadah bi Nadla al-Ansari, one of the Medina men present at the meeting, had warned, "O men of Khazraj, do you realize to what you are committing yourselves in pledging your support to this man? It is to war against all and sundry." His warning was ignored. Over the next 2 months, Muhammad's Meccan followers migrated to Medina in batches. At length, Muhammad himself left with his closest disciple Abu Bakr in June 622 AD. Medina had a mix of Jewish and pagan populations. The Jews were dominant and more prosperous. After Muhammad migrated there, the pagans were forthcoming in embracing Islam. Those of the pagans who preferred to stick to their ancestral pagan faith and oppose Muhammad also had to pretend to embrace Islam out of fear. When Islam appeared and their people flocked to it, they were compelled to pretend to accept it to save their lives. But in secret they considered the apostle a liar and strove against Islam. But despite presenting himself as a prophet of the same Judeo-Christian God and adopting almost all the Jewish religious rituals, namely the fasting on Ashura, circumcision, ablution, prohibition of eating pig meat, turning toward Jerusalem for prayers, and so on, the Jews firmly rejected Muhammad's invitation to Islam, and they had to pay a heavy price for that, which we will see later on. According to Ibn Ishaq, after the second pledge of Aqaba, Allah commanded Muhammad to take up arms for establishing Islam. The first verse revealed regarding fighting was 22:40. Permission is given to those who fight because they have been wronged. God is well able to help them. Next was revealed verse 2:193. Fight them so that there be no more seduction, and the religion is God's only. Allah revealed more verses during this period to convince Muhammad's followers to take up arms, and at length made fighting an obligatory religious duty for all Muslims, even if they disliked it, by revealing verse 2:216. Fighting is prescribed for you, and you dislike it. It is possible that you dislike something which is good for you, and that love something which is bad for you. Allah only knows, you don't. With binding divine command for fighting until religion is for Allah alone in place, Muhammad unleashed terror initially against the Meccans, who had adamantly rejected Islam for 13 years, which forced him to leave his hometown and migrate to Medina. Ibn Ishaq writes, Then the apostle prepared for war in pursuance of God's command to fight his enemies and to fight those polytheses who were near at hand, whom God had commanded him to fight. This was 13 years after his call.